3, 2, 1.
The Carolina Panthers have hired a new executive offensive assistant. He's no stranger to new head coach Frank Reich. It's none other than Jim Caldwell, the former head coach of the Detroit Lions and Indianapolis Colts, which is where Frank Reich knows Jim Caldwell from. Jim Caldwell also the one-time head coach of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, although he'd like to forget that, and many Demon Deacons fans would also. But Jim Caldwell comes to the Carolina Panthers with very good credentials, and he's going to move the needle a little bit. He inherited the Tony Dungy squad that after they won the Super Bowl after beating the Saints. Tony Dungy was head coach. Jim Caldwell succeeded him as head coach. Frank Reich was on that coaching staff, and later he stayed with Jim Caldwell as quarterbacks coach. So kind of a role reversal, if you will. But Frank Reich could definitely benefit by the addition of Jim Caldwell being on the coaching staff. That's going to go a long way in soothing possibly some wounds in the locker room that may be still smarting from the fact that Steve Wilkes, the former interim head coach, 6-6 as head coach, interim head coach for Carolina, was passed over for the job, not retained, if you will, in favor of Frank Reich. So a lot of offensive weaponry for Carolina. Deontay Foreman, Chuba Hubbard. In the running game, you've got DJ Moore, and they're looking to the draft, free agency, the cap situation. Not all that bad right now. Carolina could go a long way, and what they're going to look for, they got to have a quarterback. That's the number one thing. Is it going to be Sam Darnold? Are they going to get Matt Corral a look? He got hurt early in training camp, so it's going to be hard to figure out. But the number one thing for any coach, particularly Frank Reich, and now with his executive assistant Jim Caldwell, they've got to find a quarterback. You have the draft, you have free agency coming up, and Carolina is going to definitely try to find their future at the quarterback position. But ADSN will have you covered all through the process, through free agency, through the draft, through OTAs, and the next thing you know, we'll be back at training camp, and we'll be there every day in Spartanburg. So log on to ADSN1, like us, subscribe, you'll get all your information. We have everything you need for all your sports fix in the Carolinas. For ADSN1, I'm Kevin Casey. So long for now.